The wind howled through the dense trees, bending them like silent sentinels in the night. Ravenbrook Manor stood against the storm, its tall silhouette a dark figure beneath the moonlight. Abandoned for decades, the mansion had become the stuff of local legend. No one dared to speak of the secrets it harbored, for fear of drawing attention to the cursed place. Yet one person had ignored the warnings. Jack, a young historian with a taste for the forbidden, stood before the rusted gates, a flickering lantern in hand. His curiosity led him here, drawn by tales of an ancient, untold history hidden within those crumbling walls. As he pushed open the gate, the ground beneath his feet seemed to groan in protest, as though the manor itself had been waiting for this moment. The door creaked open, with a low, eerie sound that sent a chill down his spine. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and every step echoed through the hollow emptiness of the manor. But something about the darkness felt different, alive, almost. Something was watching him, waiting for him to uncover its secret. Ravenbrook Manor had been abandoned after the mysterious death of Lord Harold, the last of the Ravensbrook family. His sudden passing left many questions unanswered, especially regarding the strange circumstances surrounding his demise. Whispers circulated about a family curse, a treasure hidden deep within the manor, and a shadow that moved on its own within the house. But no one who entered the manor ever returned. The few who dared to investigate left only with wild eyes and incoherent ramblings. Yet Jack, armed with only his curiosity and a desire for fame, was not afraid. He had read the journals of previous explorers, each more terrified than the last, but Jack believed there was more to the story. He had traced the lineage of the Ravensbrooks and uncovered references to a hidden artifact, a relic believed to hold the key to Ravenbrook's downfall. Determined to find the truth, Jack began his search in the mansion's library, surrounded by forgotten books and decaying scrolls. As he combed through the pages of an ancient journal, his fingers brushed against something cold. It was a small metal key, a relic of the past, engraved with strange symbols. Intrigued, Jack placed the key into his pocket and continued his exploration of the manor. With each step, the air grew colder, and a sense of unease began to settle in his chest. Something was not right. Every door he opened led to more questions: hidden chambers, walls that seemed to pulse with energy, and strange markings carved into the floors and ceilings. The shadows seemed to flicker and shift, as though they had a life of their own. It was as if the house itself was alive, breathing with a deep, quiet sorrow. The manor had been waiting for someone to unlock its secrets. And Jack, whether he liked it or not, had stepped into its trap. As the hours passed, Jack's once confident steps turned uncertain. The key, which he had found earlier, had led him to an ornate door at the end of the grand hallway. It was covered in symbols that seemed to dance before his eyes, shifting in the dim light. He hesitated, but then, driven by an overwhelming need to uncover the truth, he inserted the key into the lock. The door groaned open, revealing a narrow, spiraling staircase leading deep into the heart of the manor. A cold draft seeped from below, and Jack could almost hear whispers rising from the depths. The air felt heavier with each step, and the walls seemed to close in on him. The staircase twisted downward into the darkness, where the faint glow of his lantern was swallowed by the shadows. He felt as though the house itself was pressing against him, urging him to turn back. But Jack pushed forward, his desire to uncover the manor's secrets outweighing his growing fear. The lower level was unlike anything he had encountered. The walls were covered in strange symbols, and ancient carvings adorned every surface. A sense of oppression filled the air, as though the very foundation of the manor had been built to contain something far more dangerous than Jack could comprehend. In the center of the room lay a stone pedestal, and upon it rested an object that seemed to shimmer with a faint, unholy light. But before he could approach it, the air turned ice cold. A shadow moved across the room, and Jack's lantern flickered, casting eerie shadows that seemed to twist and writhe. He turned, heart pounding, but there was no one there. Only the sound of his breath and something else. A presence. Something ancient and malevolent. Suddenly, a voice broke the silence, low, guttural, and filled with an unnatural power. "You should have left it alone." The room grew darker as the shadows around Jack seemed to stretch toward him. He stumbled backward, feeling a coldness that seeped into his very bones. His mind raced, but his body was frozen, rooted to the spot. The voice spoke again, this time closer, much closer. "You should not have come here." Jack's eyes darted around the room, searching for the source of the voice. And then he saw a figure, tall and dark, standing in the corner. Its form was distorted, half human, half shadow, its eyes glowing a fiery red. It stepped forward, the floor beneath it cracking with each movement. Jack's pulse raced, and he knew in that moment that whatever this thing was, it was tied to the manor. The shadow reached out, and in its grasp, Jack could feel his very soul being pulled toward it. The pedestal behind him began to glow brighter, and the symbols on the walls seemed to come to life, twisting in a rhythm that resonated with the very heartbeat of the manor. He realized, too late, that the artifact wasn't a treasure, it was a prison. And the thing that had been trapped here for centuries was now free. The next morning, the wind had died down. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a pale light over Ravenbrook Manor. The village below remained oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded in the shadows. When they finally ventured to the manor in search of Jack, they found the doors wide open, the mansion silent as ever. Inside there was no sign of the historian, only the broken pieces of his lantern scattered across the stone floor. The only thing left was a small metal key, now rusted and covered in an ancient dust. The mansion had claimed another soul, and Jack would never be the last to uncover the lost secrets of Ravenbrook Manor. The villagers never spoke of Ravenbrook Manor again, but sometimes late at night, if you listen closely, you can hear the whispers of those who entered and never returned.